DIY, we need of course our tumbling towel blocks again. If you use a printer, you use some Mod Podge, my wood glue, and of course if you use your glue gun, your glue, and of course some paint at your choice. I have here my basket with some scissors, some markers, brushes, a tool for cutting, of course some wire, and of course I always have an old piece of kitchen towel on a saucer, which is of course wet to wipe away the glue we don't need. These are the main things what we need. We are going to make our own little stacking books, but really in the shape of a book. So we will see how this will turn out. So we are going to start with the bottom and the top, and we're going to do 4 pieces of blocks, and again another 4 pieces of blocks. Make sure that at least try to look if they are straight in the line, because not every block has the same measurement. Of course, this is 1, number 2, and we're going to place it against it already. And number 3 and number 4 will be the closure up again. Again, squeeze it and press it down this way. This is already 1. We're going for number 2. This is number 2 and number 3. And again, number 4 is the closure up. Squeeze it, press it together. And we already have one of the sides. Of course, you see already he is still moving around, but it doesn't matter. You still can redo it so many times. So I'm going to go for, I have to make sure that I have a straight line. We're going to get another 4 blocks. This is 1, number 2, and number 3. And the stacking books are very popular. At least I see them everywhere. I see them on AliExpress. I see them on Temu. I really see them on YouTube and Pinterest. And you can find them anywhere. But I always say it's so much fun if it even looks like a book. The most of the stacking books are not really a book. It's just a piece of wood, and they just carved a couple of 2 lines in it to make it look like a book. Of course, it is cheaper to do, but I always say if you can make your own, then we're going to try to make our own. So I'm going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. So now we have 4 pieces of 4, and what we're going to do, we're going to glue them together. So we do some little glue on the side this way, and we're going to squeeze them together this way, and we're going to do this one the same. Again, some glue on the side. I did cut my wood glue not in the right way. I already see this one disaster the side. You see already, I just did cut it, but I didn't cut it right this time. So we are going to squeeze it together and let this dry in also for a couple of minutes again. So in the meantime, while these 2 are drying, we are going to get 12 blocks. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and number 12. And what we're going to do, we are going to glue them together, but on the side. So we're going to do a little glue over here. We do some glue over here, and we're going to do it this way. And we're going to do, I have to do it this way. And some glue, and so we go all the way until we have all of our blocks standing right this way. And again, we are almost there, and just in the middle is more than enough. You only have to glue together, so don't worry about too much glue. And the last one, because number 12 will be the closure up, we're going to make a nice straight line, squeeze it, and again make a nice straight line this way, and we squeeze it again, especially on the underside. Don't take, at least take your time for it. I would almost say don't take your time for it, but take your time for it, because it's worth it, and then your book will look a lot more high end. So this way I'm going to let this dry in also. Also, this one is drying. We are going to take 2 blocks and we're going to glue them together just a little on the ending. and this way. And now we're going to squeeze it and press it down. And we're going to get our towel and wipe away the glue we don't need. And we're going to let this dry also. Now we are going to make another one of 2, again on the top. And we are going to squeeze this one also together. And we're going to let it dry in, but this will be an extra layer for the inside of the book. So we're going to cut it on size, but you see that in a moment. So this one is dried up. We take one of the 2 pieces we glue together. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this piece with all the blocks in one block. We're going to place it on top of here, this way. We're going to get our marker and we're going to make a nice line over here. So I can get my jigsaw and I'm going to cut off this little piece, and we are going to glue this on this side against it, because I think he looks better like a book if we do a 1 layer on this side against it. So I'm going to go to my jigsaw and I'm going to cut it off, and then you see what we're going to do. Now a little moment for everyone who uses the smaller blocks. For the smaller blocks you need the front and the back side, and you make them in 3 rows of 6. So very easy, 6 blocks, 6 blocks and 6 blocks. Glue them together. You have a front and you need 2 of them for the back side. Of course you need also not 2 from this one, but you need 3. Then you also have a loose of 3. What you must do extra, because I have it this way, but if you use the smaller blocks you have to glue 9 blocks this way, just very simple, 9 blocks and 3 times, and glue them together. And then you have to cut off a little less than a half of one of the blocks. So you have a bigger piece and you're just going to cut out from the bigger piece, because you have 3 rows of 9. And you just, I think, a little less than a half of the first. Then you're going to cut it off, and then it's fitting. Then you have a little piece over here, and little over here, and little over here. And then you can place it inside. So, and then you also have your book. You don't need this extra piece, because the smaller blocks are fitting then a little better. So the pieces are dried in, and what we're going to do is very easy. We are going to glue this one on the back side. So we do a little glue on one of the sides. Just use the side you want, because some blocks are fitting better than other blocks. So go ahead and just look which one is fitting the best. We're going to do it on the back side this way, and we give it a couple of minutes to dry in. So you see, I placed it on the side because this way it dries a little bit better. We are going to have our bigger block, and we have our block which we did cut off a little piece on this one. We are going to do some glue on this side. Very easy, and we're going to place it against it on the back side. Make sure that you have a nice in the middle as best as you can this way, and just squeeze it. And we're going to let this also dry in for a couple of minutes. So now you see we have this piece this way. We're going to place it right here, and we have this one, of course, with the back side. What we're going to do, we're going to do some glue on this side, and we're going to do some glue on the underside over here, just that everything is gluing together. Of course it's not very very much power is coming on it, but so we're going to place it over here, and we're going to make sure that we have it in a nice straight line, and we're going to press it down and this way, and then you're going to get this one. Very easy. And now I'm going to let this dry in also, and then we're going to do some glue on top. So now I'm going to do some glue on the back side over here, a little line, and we're going to work forward this way and this way. And now we're going to get our top piece, and we're going to place it over here. Make sure that you have a nice straight line, and we're going to give it some pressure, and again redo it as long as you are satisfied the way you want to have it. So this has to be smooth, and this one. And now I'm going to get a paint can and I'm going to place it on top to give it some pressure that it dries in very nicely. You see already I have the paint can on top of here to give it some pressure, and we're going to let it dry, and I'm going to make, of course, again book number 2 and 3, but we're going to do it a little bit faster, because or else you are running so fast from my channel and then you disappear. I don't want that, because I just want you to have fun and make this DIY also. So I'm going to do it a little bit faster. And you see already again I have here the front side, the back side, and I'm going to glue everything together. You see here we have our 12 blocks again, and I'm going to glue them very easy this way again to each other. So I'm going to do it faster. Then we're going to make again the back side very easy, and we do this 2 times, because for the back side we glue this very easy together, but for the other one we are going to get again 2 against each other, and we're going to cut off a little piece again. So now we have our pieces and we are only going to glue it together. So, and here is already number 2. What we're going to do, I'm going to make number 3, but I'm going to do it without the camera, don't worry. And we are going further with our stand, which our books will come up with. Of course, we're going to give our books a kind of a stand, because I want to always make it a little bit different. What we're going to do, we're going to take 4 blocks, very easy. We just make a nice square. You see already I have so many glue on the outside. I'm just someone who is always messing with the glue. And this way, and we're going to glue this one over here, make a nice straight line. We're going to do some glue on this top, and we're going to place it over here. And now we only need to glue one on the top, and of course on this side. And then we can place it very easily in each other, and we have a nice square this way. And you see we're going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. So we did give this one, and this is how he's looking like, the bottom. We are going to make 4 pieces of 2 and 2 and 2 like this, and we're going to glue them together. Very easy this way. Just this is one. Oh, this one looks not totally straight. I'm going to look for, but I think he's offline. But offline, it's just he's that he's calling. So I mean, the line is not straight. Let me say it this way. And this is one. This is number 2. Just squeeze real hard and press it together this way. Press it together, and I'm going to look for if this one is straight, but I'm just going to give it a try. Maybe it will work. And I'm going to wipe away the glue we don't need, and we're going to give this one also a couple of minutes. So we gave it a couple of minutes, and now I'm going to do this side, because we are going to make a square again, but this way. You see me doing this lots of times. And we're going to squeeze a little. We're going to do this one on the side. And we're going to place it against this one. And now we're going to do it on this side. And on this side. And we're going to place it in. So we get a nice square. And we're going to work a little with it, and we're going to let it rest for a couple of minutes. So in the meantime, while this one is also drying, I'm going to make 2 other ones. So 2 of the same like this, but of course I'm going to do it a little faster. easy. I have the first square and I have my 3 pieces, and of course they are not totally dry yet. What I'm going to do, I'm going to carefully turn them over, give a little line over this one. I can better do it this way. Over here, go around, and I'm going to place my little square on top of here and make sure that we have it in the middle. And of course there is a little glue coming out, but it doesn't matter. We're going to work with it, and I'm going to place the other one very carefully on top. I'm going to do in the inside a little glue, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to place it on top of each other this way. Make sure that you have a straight line, and we're going to do the last one. Of course, I have to look for if I have the right top. This way, yes. And I'm going to do some glue on the middle again. And we're going to place it on top of here, and again give a little bit of pressure and over here, and try to get a straight line as best as you can, because the blocks, like I said, are not always even. So I understand completely. If you have some glue on the outside, you just take a very simple brush, a very small brush, and you're going to go around the lines and remove the glue you don't need. And again on this side, just remove it. It's a very simple task to do, and your work will look much better if you remove the glue. Oh, my English is today very very awful. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. I'm going to let this dry also. Now, for everyone who uses the smaller blocks for the stand, I would not go for the way I did it over here. I would go for 5 blocks this way and just glue them together this way, and just squeeze them and glue this one together like one bottom. So this will be the underside of the stand, and I would go for 3 blocks. I did it with 2, but you go 3, 3, 3 and 3 and make a square, and then you can place it easily on top of this. And because your books are a little bit bigger than my books, because you did a measurement bigger, and I would go for this one. And of course I would not go 3 high, I would go think for 4 high, and unless you like lower, it's also fine too. But if I would make it, I would go for 4 high. So very easy. I will show. I hope not everything is falling apart. So you see, it's very nicely fitting on top of here, and then 4 layers, and then glue your books on top. So, and before we have now the stand, of course, and I'm going to repeat the bottom. So again, we are going to make a nice square. Very easy. Glue this one together, glue this one over here, and we are going to do this one, of course, over here and a little over here, and we're going to have a nice square again. And I'm going to make 2 of them, because I want to have them a little higher from the stand off. So I'm going to do 4 blocks again, and we're going to do very easy some glue. We're going to place it over here, we're going to place it over here, and this one will be on top and on the side. And of course, don't mess the way I do with the glue. Just do it a little bit neater than I do. But I am always in a hurry. I don't know why, but I always have a feeling that I'm in a hurry. So this way, and I'm going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. So now I'm going to do some glue on the first one. Again, just very simple in the middle, this way, and over here a little bit. And I'm going to very carefully place this one on top of here. And we're going to let this dry in. Also give it a little bit of pressure. And make sure that you have a nice straight line this way. And let this dry. If you are using the smaller blocks, you are repeating the same like you did the bottom. Is 5 blocks, two rows of 5, glue them together again, 5 blocks, and two together and then double it up. So it's very easy. For your piece, which I'm going to make here, it's very easy. 5 blocks, glued together, 5 blocks, glued together, and double it up, and you have your own top also. So I did let it dry in for a couple of minutes. Now I'm going to do some glue on the inside of my stand over here, and I'm going to do over here. And now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to place it on top of here. Very easy. Over here, this way. And I have to look if I have it in a straight line. Over here. And now I'm going to let this dry. And you see our stand is almost dry. And of course our 3 little books. What we're going to do, I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint my book in a little bit of a brownish color, and of course I'm going to give the books a coat of white first, and then we're going to work with it. But first the layer will be white and brown, and you see this is the color I will use. It looks very strange if I look look at it right now, but it gives a nice matte finish, and I like it's not totally brown, but it gives, I think it gives a nice color. It looks even like a little bit like concrete color, but I'm going to give this in totally this color, and I'm going to do it a little bit faster. So I was debating with myself for the inside of the books. Of course, you can do it with some gold color, and maybe you can do it a little bit better than I did. Before I did glue it together, of course, I should have done this in the color I want. Now I have a difficulty just to get it painted inside and not mess with the rest. So if you are going to make it, please don't do it the way that I do. First, before you're going to color this piece in the color you like, and then glue it together. Then you have it a little bit easier than I have. I think I'm going to go for the same color this is, and I'm going to paint it for the inside. So I'm going to do it very carefully, and I take my time for it. So it will take a little moment. So I did the inside of the book. Now I'm going to do the outside, and I'm going to give it a very light coat of chalk paint in the white color. Very light, so not very thick, but of course if you like a thick color it's also fine too. But I'm just going to give it a nice little coat. Maybe a little bit, yeah, not the stress, but maybe some that the wood is still coming through. So a little like this. And of course the stand is drying right now. I'm going to go to my computer and I'm going to make some prints for on top of my books, because I think it looks a little bit better that way. So I'm going to make the prints. And here you see already the prints I made for my books. Of course, you find them also in our free printable in the link down below in our description box. Of course, I'm going to did it in the 2 colors. I did it in the white and in a little bit of the gray color, a little bit the same color like I did on my stand. So I'm going to cut out both of them, and I'm going to see which one I like the best for the top. And one book I did also a back side, and this one, and the rest you only see from the top. So I'm going to print out cut out our prints. So I did cut them out, but my preference is going to the one with a little bit of the, yeah, not dark gray, but a little bit of the gray color instead of the white color. Of course, I'm going to keep this little prints, because you can always use them for something else, but I'm going to go for a little bit like this color. You can choose any color you like. Of course, I'm going to get my Mod Podge, and I'm going to Mod Podge my print on top of here. So I'm going to place over my print. I'm going to do some Mod Podge on top of here, and of course you know already how to Mod Podge your picture, because I think a lot of you already did your DIYing, maybe even a lot longer than I am doing it. Of course, I'm already old, because I'm already also far in the 50s, so I'm already also a long busy with DIYing. At least I always love to decorate, and I'm going to do it on top, and I will place it in the middle, and I try not to get Mod Podge on the print, and this way, and this is how cute is he looking. And of course on the back side I'm going to do the recipe, and I'm really loving this look because this will be the book which will be on top. Of course I'm going to turn it over because I don't want Mod Podge on this side, and of course I only do this book together with you. And I'm going to do a little bit more over here and this way, and the corners. And now I'm going to, I have to turn it over. Of course I have to look that I don't have it upside down because we can't redo it again. And we're going to look if we have it where we want to have it, and this way. And I'm really happy how this is looking like. You see this one, and I know you see the words backwards. Don't worry, that's just my telephone and the recipe. And I'm so happy how the book is looking like. I'm going to do the rest of the books and then we're going to glue them on top of our stand. So our 3 books are ready, and now I'm going to look which way I want to have them on top of here. So it's a little bit of a struggle to get them always in the right position, but of course you will see in a moment the end review.